Lots and lots of articles out there on investing in your business. Also, lots of articles on investing in your personal net wealth. People get a little bit confused between what to do when they have a business, and lo and behold, they don't always make the best decisions. So this video is going to look at the strategy behind it and how to think more clearly on what decisions you need to be making for that return on investment. Roll it. Welcome back to another video. My name is Nikos. This is mentorsapproach.com, where we strive to make a video each and every week to get you thinking and moving in the right direction. So hit subscribe. Today we're looking at this idea of investing back into your business, investing into yourself, investing into long-term retirement, investing into all these great things. And nobody really tells you 100% what to do, because nobody really knows 100% what is best. But everybody can give general tips and tricks to start looking at and how to move and this and that. I'm going to focus on strategy today. Why? Because it's incredibly critical that we look at the strategy, the walkthrough thought process that we should be making in order to utilize all those tips and tricks that people have. So without further ado, let's talk about step one. When we're looking at this idea of how you are looking at your business versus how you're looking at your personal life versus how you're looking at the future versus how you're looking at everything with your family and blah, 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 the question would be, what is most critical for you? Now, we want to always look at this idea first by saying, what is my mission and purpose in life? What is that purpose I'm looking for? You want to look at the future and say, what is my mission and purpose? What do I feel I need to be doing? Now, you might not be able to see it, but you'll have a feeling of where it is. Now, for instance, on your personal life, your family, you'll see, hey, in the future, I want to have X, Y, Z in my life. With your career, I want to have X, Y, Z. Hey, maybe I don't even want to have a career. I don't want to work anywhere. I want to focus on my business, and now it's your business. What is your business? Is it really your mission and purpose in life, or no? This is a question, okay? Or is it a means to an end? People just have businesses for that, and then they dream of something bigger, kind of like opening up a restaurant that you want to open, and then you have your vision of the big one, but you need to start somewhere, right? Same thing with a career, starting a career, maybe as a chef, working for somebody, and then wanting to go open a restaurant. You start something small, and then you grow and get bigger and bigger. So we have this path of what is your business, ideal business looking like for that mission and purpose in life. Once we start to analyze this, we start to put more of a perspective of where our emotions sit, because we start to gauge that long-term effect. See, in short term, you want it all, but it's not possible. In long term, you could have it, but it's only based on what you do each and every day to get there. And this is really the thought process of making good decisions. Every day you make a good decision, it leads you to another opportunity for another better decision to be made, and so on and so forth, and it grows. I am telling you this because this is how it actually fits the narrative of everybody we talk to. Now, when you're starting young, you don't really see that future as much as you do when you're getting older and time is kind of like slowing down. I know, I've been through it. I'm going through it. A lot of people do. And this is the idea of when big events, kind of like what we've been going through with the whole pandemic and everything that's happening with the closures, with people's careers, businesses, families, you name it, the stock market going up and down and people going, what do I do? These are the things kind of like that occur where you're sitting there going, look at my timeline on life. The last crash that occurred in 2008, I saw differently than the 2001, and with what's been happening now. I have literally no stress right now. I have no stress. Where in 2008 I did, 2009, 2010, that whole 3-year, 4-year event. When I'm looking at 2001, I was like, why didn't I get in on this? Now I have a mixture of both emotions, but it's all based on timeline to the future. So I'm already been through it. I have a different emotion, a different mindset on everything, so I can make better decisions, which means what? All of this on step one is making sure we can calculate good decision making based on our emotions. Controlling our emotions, making logical decisions goes a long way. So how do we fit the narrative of what we're trying to do now? In step two, once we have this established and we're understanding our emotions, we look at step two and we say, what are we going to be doing to make better decisions? We're looking at our investments into our business. And when people say invest back into your business, there's many aspects to invest. There's some stuff that you can do that almost instantaneously makes everything better. And there's some stuff that needs a long-term investment. We're gauging that return on investment based on what we're investing, based on the risk factor. Now, some people are going out there and saying, hey, I'm going to invest a whole bunch of money into my business. And they're not really calculating this. And then the return on investment, though, may be big, maybe down the road, maybe soon. We don't really know because we haven't calculated it. And then they might go invest in the wrong aspect of their business. And they're not really gauging that aspect. And all of a sudden, they lose out. On the other side, we want to look at it as the personal investment. And you go, what am I doing with my personal investments? Because this is a big question everybody's asking. I've done well in my investments. It's all volatile. What do we do? There's a lot of changes coming. A lot of changes. And that business that might be your baby, it might be your future, that mission and purpose, it might not be the business because it's all going to come crumbling down. I was just talking to somebody who's a taxi driver. One of my neighbors, I was talking to another guy. Who are online, and they're like, "Hey, what do you think of this automation?" Very good questions. What do you think is going to happen when Apple and Tesla and all these companies are talking about these automated taxis? What do you think is going to happen to your taxi business? That's the bottom line. If I have a Tesla and it's just sitting there and I can contract it out to go out and pick people up when I'm not using it and it's all automated, what do you think is going to happen? We got to think about this stuff and ask ourselves, is that license for the taxi driving license that in some places are like $300,000, $400,000 net value that you would sell to retire on, it ain't going to be there anymore. Now, could this be in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years? Nobody knows the timeline, but it's coming sooner than later because of what just happened with the pandemic. It sped up everything. Everybody started moving on technology. It's now coming sooner than later. So these are the things that we need to look at and ask ourselves, where is the investment actually going? So in step 3, we're going to actually sit down for our business because we've grabbed step 2 and we've put down everything and we're going, look at all the stuff I could be doing. Step 3 is looking at our business and saying, what are the best investments we can do for our business? And you're going to go out and find people, because if you have money to invest back in your business, you should have money to help you, find people to help you make good decisions. And figure out what is going to be the best return on investment step by step with the risk factors in there so that you can invest your money accordingly. A lot of people go blindly into this. Like they'll go spend money on their marketing in the wrong way, and they haven't even done a good analysis on where they should market. They'll spend money on people and they'll hire people for stuff that they shouldn't be hiring. They'll go outsource stuff that they shouldn't be outsourcing. They'll go try and automate something and they'll get software that doesn't even do what they want it to do, and they'll spend all this time trying to do this instead of, reaching out to somebody and talking to. Every time I talk to somebody, the number one question is, have you consulted with a tax specialist? And you know what not everybody, 99.5% say? No. That's my first thing that I tell everybody to do. Go talk to a tax specialist. Find your nearest account tax specialist. Reach out to them. Go, I want an analysis on my business. Tell me what I should be doing. I think I'm losing money. I want to save more money on my taxes. How do I take advantage of the tax incentives that are out there? And they'll sit down and be like, yo, you should be doing this. I have a tax accountant. I'm starting a business in the States. Guess what I'm doing? Hey, I want to keep my money in a way where I can invest into with American money, keep that in there, and I want to be able to move money back into my accounts in Canada. How do I do this? Making sure that I can be as efficient as possible on the taxes. If I go blindly in it, I'm just doing whatever, then I don't know if I'm making money or not, or if I'm losing money or not, or whatever how you want to relate to that. But all I know is I'm paying more taxes than not if I do not consult the tax specialist. And guess what? Every time somebody does that and they go out, they're like, oh man, I didn't know I could do all these things I haven't been doing. Like I'm going to be able to save so much on my tax payments. Yeah, you will. They're going to be able to tell you what you should be buying, what you shouldn't be buying, on what kind of payment structure. They're going to tell you how to hire people, and you should be outsourcing or hiring straight up, and how does all that payroll and all the different taxations that come with that, depending on where you live. They'll help you with that, and they're going to be able to help you make good decisions. Step 4 is your personal. What are you doing with your personal? Now, you're making money, you're throwing money back into the business, and you're saying, let me see a return on investment. So if you say you're making on an online business 5 to 10,000, and you're looking at it and you go, I'm going to throw into it a good portion of the money that's coming back out. And at the end of the day, I want to see a growth factor. But I'm going to keep only $2,000 or $3,000 in my pocket, and the rest goes back into the business on a monthly, so I can see it start making $20,000 to $30,000. Great, and then I'll limit how much I'm investing back into it, and I'll come to an average, and we'll be good. And then I'll know I have like 10 grand coming into my pocket by the end of all this in a year or two. Okay, great. Now you have 10 grand, and it's starting to grow. You look at the stock market, you're looking at, housing, you're looking at all these opportunities for investment, and you're looking at that future of what you want to be doing. And you say to yourself, what kind of a portfolio am I going to be building? If you already have stocks and you've already been playing and now you're in debate of where you're going to move money, take out a portion and invest into your business. And then as money comes in, you start investing back into your portfolio and look at your diversification and ask yourself, what can I do for my future? If I want to, worst case scenario, retire when I'm 65, 70 years old and still have $5,000 a month until I die, what do I need to do right now to do that? This is how I think. Why? Because I want to make sure I have at least $5,000 in my pocket. It could be 10, it could be 20. I don't know. As time goes on, I'm going to make changes accordingly. But there needs to be some kind of portfolio that gives me that $5,000 at the end of my career, where I know I don't want to do anything anymore. I'm done. I just want to go sit on a beach and hang out and drink margaritas and whatever. Okay. I don't know, whatever your dream is for retirement. That's it. So we look at this idea and we say, how are we going to look at our portfolio, diversify it, and as money's coming in, I'm going to invest. Now, would it be a smart idea to go talk to a professional? 100%. Would it be a smart idea to go talk to just anybody? No. Go find somebody you're going to trust and then spend the money, show them what you have, and go, I'm starting to grow my business. I'm seeing money. This is what I'm doing with my business. How should I move money over, and what should I be doing to invest, and what do you think is a good outlook down the road? This is the way of you being successful in your business and your personal life long term. It's making calculated decisions, because now once you structure these, guess what's going to happen? When you grab that $2,000, $3,000 out of your business and it starts to grow over time, you'll know exactly where to move your money. And on top of that, you're always going to have a reserve. You're going to be looking what's happening in the world to know where you're going to go invest more money. And you're going to have your high stakes somewhere where you can throw more money in. Coinbase was just announced yesterday. And, the stocks were like crazy, and then it dropped. And it's like, okay, I'm just, I was going to make a move today. I didn't. Tomorrow or the day after, I'm looking at what's happening. I'm going to make a move. Okay. I can do that because I have that availability to me, because I've structured everything, and I'm not worried if this thing takes off or doesn't take off. I can rebuy. If I do buy it at high and then everything drops, I can keep buying, and I can level out the playing field so I can come out on top. I want to really be really just clear on this. If you don't go talk to somebody and you think for the last year and a half you've been investing and you just got into it, or a year or 6 months, and you're like, I know what I'm doing. When this correction comes, whenever it comes down, it's highly probable it's going to come soon. When it does, and by soon I mean maybe in the next 2 years, some timeline, you're going to feel the full throttle of what has happened in the past, like the 2008, 2009, 2010, debacle, that whole time period of people going, what do I do? Okay, because it wasn't just when it crashed. It was like the next, 2 years of people going, what do I do? And then, the big tech bubble, okay? And we've lived through it. So I want to really be specific of this and put this into perspective. You're going to start growing so that you don't worry about things like this occurring by diversifying properly. And you need to go out and get that advice. You can do it on your own, of course, but you need to make it so you're not emotional on the decisions. You need to be able to understand that if Tesla keeps going up and then it drops, you're not going to be feeling like you made a big tragic mistake. At the same time, we need to look at all this and then say to ourselves, well, what's in the final step. It's refining. It's going through this all the time. It's accountability to yourself. Are you maintaining this status quo? Are you continually doing this? I go through this on an ongoing basis. You can do a month, you can do a week, you can do every day. You know, but in general, big businesses will look at what they're doing on at least a quarterly basis. Why, as individuals, do we not do this with ourselves? Why are we not going out and doing this? Why don't you have a retainer on a good tax specialist so you can call them up whenever you need something? Why don't you have that on a personal finance person? I was just talking to somebody who's 5 to 6 years away from retirement. And I'm like, well, have you talked to an exit strategist, like a tax planner that specializes in exit strategy? They're like, no, why would I do that? I don't know, because they're going to help you strategize the next 5 years to get out of your business and capitalize on all the taxation that exists. Well, no, like people have talked to me about it. It's like $400 or $500 for an hour. I don't want to spend that money. Okay, well, where are your investments at? And we sit down, we start talking about this, and I'm like, well, you're going to lose money here. You're going to lose money on these funds. You're going to lose money on this and this. You're going to lose money on this, on all taxation stuff. And guess what? If you die and you're going to pass this on to your kids, you're going to get taxed in this way, this way, this way. And he's just staring at me and he goes, whoa, go see the tax specialist. Easy peasy. We need to do that. And we need to understand that. We can't be cheap on some things. And accountability comes into play here. Take responsibility for what you're doing. Be accountable. Put accountability measures into play. This is it. Am I doing these things? Am I going through these each and every, what is your time period? And make it count. This is critical, because these are the things that we're doing with people, and we're working through these over a good 3-6 month period. And then after that, they're able to maintain their accountability. We only do accountability checks every so often, but their life becomes so much better because now decision making happens. That is positive. Every decision starts to happen. They're making the right decision at the right time. And once you get that confidence to do that without emotional aspects of it being involved in these decision making, guess what? Now life gets good because you don't have those stresses of what could happen. And you can look at your business right now and say, hey, I don't know what the future is going to look like, but I can invest accordingly and make changes as I see the world changing into the new that is going to be happening over the next decade. My name is Nikos. This is mentorsapproach.com. Hit that like button if you like what you see. Of course, hit the subscribe button and leave a comment below. What do you think about all of this? What have you been doing with your business / career / personal investments? How does it all shape up with what you're expecting to happen in the future? Because who knows, somebody might be watching this video. They might read your comment. They might relate. You might help change a life.